A man's virtue mostly flows from three separate sources: desire, emotion, and intelligence. Knowledge is a wise man's treasure, but beware of false doctrines, for they are even more dangerous than ignorance. Forget all you know, or think you know. Abandon the hunger for power and enforce decrees. Look inward, where the deepest rivers flow. There you'll find the currents of eternity. And as always, my friends, welcome to my mania. Hey, it's Jake Johnson here, coming to you live from the internet. It's Untethered, and you're watching it. What's going on, everybody? How about that day? How about Wednesday? Wrapped it up. It's done. It's over. Hey, Great Sky Troll. And you're watching it? It's horrible, isn't it? There's like 8 people in the audience. It's hilarious. I mean, there's more than 8, but maybe 10. April, what's up, girl? Good to see you. Oh, what a day. It's horrible. I saw Donald Trump got on the helicopter and flew to Mar-a-Lago, but before he did, he stopped off at an Air Force base and did a farewell speech, and it was lovely. And then the inauguration commenced. He didn't show up to that, but you know who did? Mike Pence. And you know who he was sitting with? Bill and Hillary Clinton. I thought that was weird. You could say, well, they just put them all together. No, the Obamas were somewhere else. He chose to sit with them. Looks Russian to me. Classic elephant walk. Yeah. I saw it on television, the inauguration. You know, where they swear in the new president. Out with the old and in with the new. And I've seen lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people saying, not my president, hashtag not my president. No, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. He most definitely is your president. If you live in America, he's your president. You don't have to like it, but that's the way it is. None of that insurrection bullshit that they're trying to blame on us, which nobody actually believes. All he's missing is an actual military parade? Yeah. He probably deserves one. You talking about Trump or Biden? Oh, yeah, well, he might deserve a certain type of march, but I don't know if it's a military one. Maybe one that involves a guy over here hollering, "Dead man walking, dead man walking." I don't know. He's in Florida. Trump went home. He didn't bother to go to the inauguration, which I thought was boss. An armed inauguration. Yeah, there were more military people there. There was more National Guard there than there were people. That's a fact. The only people that were there worked there. I don't think they even, I didn't watch the unedited version of it. I watched it off of different news stations, but they never cut to the crowd. Not once. It's because there was no crowd there. That's why. Every now and then you could hear them clapping. It sounded like a high school gymnasium. It's horrible. Meanwhile, on the other channel, you're watching Trump's farewell speech, and there's I don't know how many thousands of people there. You can hear them chanting, "Thank you, Trump," and USA. And yeah, he lives in Mar-a-Lago. That's one of the places he lives. He's got houses all over the place. He's famous for living in New York and Trump Tower. He's got a penthouse on Trump Tower. And he's got places in Maryland and Virginia and God knows where all. Probably a place in Hollywood. He's got Mar-a-Lago, which is like a resort. Like a golf resort. Big clubhouse and lots of staff and all that. But he lives there too, so who knows? Man's got money. And I'm sorry to see him go too, but nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever in the cold November rain. But let's see how bad they can screw it up the next 4 years. Let's give them a chance anyway. Hopefully all that stuff is just rhetoric and they'll calm it down as soon as they get busy, but I don't know. I really think some of them took that shit seriously. They don't understand in this generation that you just talk shit when you're running for office, that you don't mean it. You just talk. They took it to another level this time. That's right. Just respect it and carry on. That's all you can do. I hate it when that happens. Lost the fire on my cigarette. They did impeach him, yes, but he has not went to trial. The word impeach is a little misleading. Most people think that when you get impeached, that means you've been convicted of something. That's not what that word means. An article of impeachment is like a file that goes on your record, and then they investigate you, and then they take you to trial, and you can either win or lose. If you win, nothing happens. If you lose, you can never run for office again, and you might go to jail. Politicians don't generally go to jail, though, so, I mean, that's a precedent they really don't want to start because that means a lot of them are going to go to jail, you know, soon as the next time the other team is in control. So they really don't want to start doing that with Trump. That's not to say they won't, but maybe they won't. Maybe they'll leave him alone, let him live his life. I hope it don't go that far. But they did impeach him, yes. He does have an article of impeachment twice. He won the first one. Let's see what happens this time. Maybe they'll just drop it. He won the first one because what they impeached him over was an out-and-out lie. And everyone knew it was an out-and-out lie, and they impeached him for it anyway. So, I have never seen anyone more hated politically than Trump. I don't think Hitler was as hated as Trump is. Matter of fact, I know he wasn't. A lot of people aren't aware of this, but before the whole Mean Mr. Mustache thing, he was Time Magazine Man of the Year 3 years in a row, and everybody loved him. Everybody praised him. That's what I was just saying. Yep. Everybody loved Trump at first, too. And then they turned on him as soon as he ran for president. Because he ran for the other side. And what's funny about that and I ain't never been able to really wrap my head around this, but Trump has been a Democrat his whole life. Always. Well, that's just what you do when you have money and when you're powerful. You're a Democrat because that's what the team is, you know. And they wouldn't let him run for Democrat because they had Hillary Clinton. So he ran for Republican because that's what you do when you can't get on the ticket where you want. If you want to run, you get on whatever ticket's available. And that's what he did. And then he turns out to be the best Republican president we've ever had. And they hated him more than anybody that has ever been in the office as a Republican. And if they'd have just let him run for Democrat, he could have been on their side and brought all of that power to them. But no, they had to go crazy, go all woke and go left, hard as they could go. It's amazing to me. If they'd have just let him run Democrat, they would have had all the love and adoration and influence, and CNN and all that would have been praising them all year. Trump would have been in office for 8 years. It would have been great. But they had to go crazy. New York Democrat as a Florida Republican, same difference. Yeah. Yep. Oh, stick with me, kid. I'll show you all kinds of things you didn't know. Every time. Say something you didn't know. Same difference. That's right. Well, see, here's the thing that most people don't grasp. Left wing, right wing, they're both part of the same bird. It's the same team. They just play it from different ends. But the middle is the same either way. And they're both trying to get to the middle. And that's the way it's always been until now, anyway. We'll be here. I just don't know why it had to be so difficult. But difficult it was. That's all right, though. We survived it anyway, for now. They start breaking out the gulags and the concentration camps, and it might get a little hairy, but as long as they stay on their side of the fence, we're good. Biden bump doesn't make you nervous? Little? A little. What makes me more nervous is his attacks on guns, the right to bear arms. He's already signed some stuff into law today. Did away with some of the things Trump put into law. I hadn't found out what all of them are yet, but I'm working on it. It is in God's hands, but we're meant to do our part for sure. And it could be that we're in for a big, hard couple of years. I hope not. I hope it's just business as usual. They'll raise the gas prices, will tax the hell out of us, put EPA back in, strangle the workforce again, and just move on. But, and, decommission the military and defund the police, go mandatory buybacks, which means they come to your house and take your shit. I got to run into the store. Okay. Give me some Mountain Dew while you're in there. I got some bad news for them, though. They come to my house, they're going to get a little more than they bargained for. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, we're a pepper too. Dr. Pepper, king of the cola this year. I can't drink Dr. Pepper. It tastes like copper. Tastes like I got a penny in my mouth. I didn't like it. It's weird. Let's roll. Oh, lol, troll. Can't see. Yep. They come to my house, they're going to be met at the door with a person who doesn't have a clue what they're talking about. Now, if they try to breach the entry, that's a different story. That would be bad for everybody, because I know I ain't winning that fight. You lost your guns in a boating accident? How did you manage that? What, they go under? And you didn't go diving for them? Run, Forrest. I'm pretty sure that's copyrighted. Professionally. So you got in a boating accident and then they took your guns from you because you had them with you on the boat. Gotcha. Well, I lost a couple of my guns in a freak pawn shop accident. And the bad thing is the day I went to pick them up, I was told I was on an FBI list. And I said, what do you mean I'm on an FBI list? I ain't done anything wrong. Well, it turns out because of my custody battle, they put me on a list. So they didn't tell me that when I pawned the guns, but they wouldn't ever let me pick them up, so I lost them. That sucked too because it was one of my best guns. But it wasn't all of them. I got more. I got enough to get the job done. I'm not uncivilized. I'm armed to the teeth. That's the only way to be civil. I had an upset with one of my neighbors one time, and they come out, broad chesting me. So I went out to meet them, and apparently they had called the law on me because I was, kicking somebody off of my own property. And they didn't like how I did it. So they called the law. And the law came out here. And I'd been outside before they came up. But I knew they were coming, so I was armed. But I wasn't holding the gun. It was sitting on my chicken coop, just out of reach, where they couldn't see it, in case I needed it. The law come up in the yard. I turned around and I said, "Be advised." And he looked up and I told him what I had sitting on the chicken coop. I said, "There's a loaded shotgun right there. And I'm not going to reach for it." And he come up and my neighbor said, "You brought a gun out here?" And he looked at the cop. He said, Can you do something about that?" And the cop looked at him and he looked at me and he looked back at him and said, "What gun?" So at least I live in that kind of an area. So that's a good thing. What gun? I don't see no gun. I didn't see anything. He didn't pull it. Ain't no point in me talking about it. I was kind of glad of that. I knew at that moment that I had won that little tryst. And I did. The guy got off my property and the neighbor went back in his house and that was it. The cop left, didn't bother me. It could have been bad, but it wasn't. Now, who's to say that when the new guys are in charge, that the cops won't do what they're told and come over and harass people anyway? I can't guarantee they won't do that. But at least at that moment, they were on the public side, which is where they're supposed to be all the time. But there's just no way to tell how the next 4 or 5 years are going to go, how bad it's going to get, what things are going to occur. Just keep your eyes open, your ears peeled, and for God's sakes, stock up for a couple of weeks worth of food and shelter and provisions just in case. If you've learned anything from me, learn this. Be prepared for whatever. It is in God's hands. But if you've read the Bible, and you are reading the Bible, know that it gets bad in the end before it gets good. And it hadn't got bad yet, and it's going to. And when it does, it's not going to last that long, but it will last for a little while. And you can survive it, but you got to be ready for it. Have a little bit of something you can trade with. I don't care what it is, a little bit of silver, a little bit of gold, a little bit of electronics, certain types of food or anything that's valuable to people that you can trade with. Have a little of that on hand. Stock up on some gasoline. Put it in some cans. Get the breathable kind so that it doesn't get too hot and blow up on you. Get a little propane. Get some toilet paper while you can. Get some canned foods and some rice. Things you can eat. Things that are not perishable. Get flour, don't get bread. Learn how to make hoe cake. You can live a long time on hoe cake, I promise. Hoe cake and eggs. Get some chickens. Chickens would be nice. Get you a big old bag of flour and put it in a drum somewhere that it'll stay sealed. Sorry, I'm in the store. Kevin just called. He's going to tune in. He's going to tune in. Okay. Sweet. Can't get chickens. Why not? You don't like chickens? Oh, that's right. You don't live on the branch anymore, do you? Well, you can get chickens and put them on the branch. It used to be that if all hell broke loose, the branch is where I would have went. But I don't think it's that way anymore. I think it's modernized enough that you're no safer there than you are anywhere else. But I do have a piece of property in a very dense part of Florida. Quail is a consideration. Yeah, you could eat quail. The Israelites ate quail for a long time while they were in the desert. For some of the 40 years they were out there, they ate quail. I don't know for how long, but I know they got sick of manna, which is bread. So they asked for something better, and they got quail. So if they can live that long on quail, you can too. Your fish tank is a good idea. Matter of fact, I saw something one time. It would take a lot of work to do it, and if you're lazy like me, you probably wouldn't want to get started on this because you never finish it. But here's the idea. You have a greenhouse. Build you a greenhouse. And inside the greenhouse, you have troughs. And inside of the troughs, you've got this Chinese fish that breeds like crazy. And they breed real fast. They breed year round. So there's always an abundance of them, is what I'm saying, in these troughs. And then on top of the troughs, you plant vegetables. And they live off of the excrement of the fish in the water. And miracle grow, you know. And the way he had this thing set up, it was like a 3-tier. He had fish, he had rabbits, and he had vegetables growing in this greenhouse. And so he had all the vegetables and all the meat that he needed right there. And it was self-contained, self-sustaining. If you could figure out how to build something like that, it would be fantastic. Kev, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Also, couldn't hurt you to learn how to filter water. Learn how to make a charcoal filter or a salt filter. Learn about not drinking standing water, making sure that it's always running water. That sort of thing. It's sort of doable. In Georgia, the winters are too cold. Not if you have a greenhouse, you can heat it. You can use those hydroponic lights to heat it. And vegetables don't grow year-round anyway. But do some research on that. Look it up on YouTube. That's where I saw it. It was a long time ago, but I'm sure you can find it. Just look for self-sustaining fish tank / greenhouses. I don't know. It was an interesting idea anyway. Basically, the whole thing took care of itself. He had cleaner fish in there that would clean the algae, and the fish would shit, and the plants would eat it. They would root down into the water. He had like a mesh above the tanks. He had it where he could lift it up if he needed to. And he always had fish to eat. He had a small family, like 2 kids and a wife. In Florida, it should be possible. Yeah. And this thing was producing food for itself, you know, and that produced food for his family. There's other things you can do too, like make a water generator. We talked about that one time, if you remember, by putting tanks up on a tower, dropping the water down, and as it goes down, it goes through a few generators. You can use car alternators and run those into a step-down transformer and then into a bank of batteries. And then you could have a pump to pump the water back up to the top, run down into a reservoir. If you could build something like that on that big hill that you've got, that would be perfect. Like a 15-foot tower on the top of that hill, run down to the bottom of the hill with a big tank, a reservoir, and then in the pipe system, rig up a few alternators. Each one produces 117 volts. You might have to change them often because they'll wear out, but it's worth having to make electricity for whatever your needs are. over unity. Yep. There's a Harbor Freight greenhouse kit I'm seriously considering. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to have one. Just so that you can produce food for your family. You know what I mean? You ain't got to go all crazy, just a couple of vegetables and a couple of other things. And see, right here, I've got a never endless supply of squirrels. As long as they don't go away, I can go out and shoot me a couple of squirrels and eat dinner if I have to. They run all over my yard. They've been doing it for years and years, and every year there's hundreds of them, and they're big ones. So I could just sit on my front porch with my 22 and pop a couple out of the trees, and there's dinner. I'm not going to starve. Plus, there's deer. It's 12 by 14. That's plenty of size. You don't need much room for a greenhouse. There's a guy I saw on YouTube that has like a quarter of an acre, and he produces something like 50,000 pounds of food every year off of that quarter of an acre. Whatever it was a ridiculous amount, and he was like feeding half the city with it. And he just has plenty of room. Just use like raised beds, make tiered platforms. You can grow all kinds of things. Me, I can't grow anything. I don't have a green thumb. Everything I try to grow dies. But I know other things. I've got skills, a certain set of skills. And I will find you. And I will kill you. Ah! Yeah, you're a pretty good trapper. So if you need to, you can find a way to get some food. That's all I'm talking about. Just be prepared, fellas, because you never know what's coming down the pipe. I'm not trying to be alarmist or anything like that. Just know that it can get bad, and it can get bad fast. Just look at Seattle, how they got taken over last year with CHOP. Look how fast that happened. So here's my number one piece of advice. Get out of the city. If you're in a city, get out of it. You don't need to be there. That's not natural. People aren't meant to live in cities. Go to the country. Get out of the city. They're all dead. When things go bad, think about LA. LA is an unnatural city built in a part of the world that people weren't supposed to live. It's in the desert. They have to pump water in from 3 states away. That's the only water source they got. When shit goes bad and that city goes down, when the grid goes down, those people are dead. All of them. They will panic and they will die. Nobody's getting out of that city. You don't want to be there when things go bad. I promise. So if you're near a city, get away from it. If you're in the city, get out of it. There's nothing there for you. Just sardines. That's what you are. Yeah, they'll probably decriminalize pot. That'll probably be the only good thing they do. And I hope they do. I hope they legalize it. Don't decriminalize it, legalize it. Across the board, along with all the other drugs. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't smoke pot, but I like potheads. I like the idea of being a pothead. I just can't personally do it because I don't like being dumb. And it makes me dumb. I mean dumb. You know, you've seen me before. I am a upper, not a downer. Now you give me some speed, and I will design you some shit that you wouldn't believe. My brain will go to working, and all the little ends will connect up, and I'll be like Voltron on acid. It's true. Some of my finest thoughts have came from crystal meth. However, I'm getting old, and I can't really play that game anymore. Could grow poppies. That's a thought. I always wanted to try that. I just don't think it would. I think it would be too good. I think that would be trouble for me. I'm already addicted to painkillers. I don't think I can stand heroin. I think I'll stay away from that. Yeah, get lots of things that you can eat that doesn't require heat and that doesn't require a refrigerator. I know you like hot food, but it's not necessary to survive. One that I would recommend, as bad as it is what do you call them things? Chef Boyardee, little squares full of meat. Hey, Darlene. It's not exactly heroin, and it's not as strong, but it's close. You're right. It's opium. What are those little... I can't think of the name of them. They come in a can. They're tomato-based. They're a little square, and they're full of beef. Ravioli. That's it. As bad as those are, they'll get you by in a pinch. They'll fill you up, and they got lots of protein and lots of carbohydrates because of the noodle and the beef. They'll keep you strong. So get you a few cans of those. 10 or 12 cans of them put back. Get some sardines. They suck, but they're good. They're good for omega-3 fatty acids, and they will keep your body functioning if you happen to run out of food. Potted meat, things like that. All stuff that suck, but you can live on. Learn how to make hoe cake out of flour and water. Learn how to make egg noodles out of flour and egg. If you just must have noodles. But these are good skills to have in a bad time. Learn how to pickle. Learn how to can. That way you can save your food. Learn what a root cellar is. Be nice to have one. Underground, things are 32 degrees all the time, winter and summer. Unless you're like way up north when it's really cold and you got permafrost, and then it gets really cold underground. But in normal states, especially in Florida and Georgia, it's 32 degrees underground. A root cellar is a good thing to have because you can at least keep some things fresh. Oh, here's another idea. Learn how to make jerky. Learn how to dry out meat and vegetables. They make a thing you can buy. It don't cost very much. It's made out of plastic. It looks like a fan cover, like one of those oscillating fans. It looks like that, but it heats up, and you can dry things out on it and make dehydrated foods. And that's a way you can keep meat for a long time, is to jerky it. Or to salt it. You can pack it in salt and keep it for a long time. Salt is a natural preservative. You'd have to wash the meat off, of course, and get the brine out of it, but you could make a brine and put your meats in it, or you could make salt paste and put it in it, or just salt by itself. Pack it. Yeah, raviolis. They'll do in a pinch. They're not very good. Pickling. Yeah, pickling's a good idea. These are all great survival tactics to have and build a community. Can you name 10 people around you that will help you build something. Will help you build a fence or help you nurse somebody that's sick. Can you name 10 people? Do you have 10 friends that you can count on like that you trust? Build a community. That's what this is. It's a community. You can get on here and call my name and I'll come a-running. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter what time it is. If you need me, I'll be there. Simple as that. Build a community you trust. Small groups of people where everybody can pitch in and survive. The reason I'm hammering on this tonight is because things are going to get bad here pretty soon. I don't know how soon. I don't even know if it's going to happen this time around. But I know it's going to happen. And I know being prepared is better than not being prepared. An ounce of prevention and all that. So trust me when I say you want to be in a position where you know you can feed your kids or you know you won't starve to death. Water does not spoil unless it's tainted or unless it's really, really old. So get you some jugs and fill up enough jugs. Consider you're going to drink about a gallon a day. You're not going to, you can ration it, but you can consider a gallon a day. If you use it for other things, you'll most definitely go through a gallon or two a day. But have enough for about 10 days stored somewhere. That way you won't be thirsty. Because you can live for a month without eating. You can only live about 3 days without drinking. You must have drink. So make sure you have that. And it'll last a good long time right there in jugs. Don't get distilled water. Get not tap water, but get spring water. That's the way to go, spring water. It's got nutrients in it. I've been here just listening, was watching the presidential stuff. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That's why we're talking about prevention now, because of the presidential stuff. I'm glad you're here, though. I've been thinking about y'all, worrying about you. There's a lot of weirdness going on in Washington right now. And for all I know, it's just going to be another 4 years. The same old bullshit it's always been. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm just trying to be intelligent. You know, I know that things are getting bad. The time is coming. I don't know how much time we have. I don't know if it'll even happen in our lifetimes. But I know that it's better to be prepared than to not be. I'd rather have a V8 and not need it than need it and not have it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get this community strong. You need to be able to name at least 10 people that you can call on. If you can't name them, you need to start collecting. Because in the bad times, it's going to be favor that'll change your life. It's going to be friendship and loyalty that will save you. People to look out for you. People you can look out for. People to help you raise your kids or watch out for while you're working. You know. Because it's going to come down to where we're going to have to provide for ourselves. And you want to be able to provide for yourself. And if you can collect people that have skills, that's even better. Find somebody that knows how to work on mechanical stuff. Find somebody that knows how to work on carpentry. Find somebody that knows how to farm, you know. Old people with common sense. Things like that. I'm glad to hear you're feeling good. That's excellent. If you're a smoker like me, start saving tobacco. I don't know 10 people, I'll just call you. Well, I'm about 10 people. You call me, I'll come a-running. Believe that. Finally getting over that surgery. Hell yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Pretty soon you're going to be running around in the fields like a 13-year-old. Yep. Well, when I come, Raymond will be right behind me. I mean, Great Sky Troll. Sorry, that slipped. I know probably 4 people that I could call that I know I can trust. Maybe 5 that I know can help me survive in my area, I mean. But you said it right, Darlene. Most of it's going to be me because I'm like Bruce Willis. I'm a useless, worthless bum unless the end of the world happens to happen, and then I'm the guy because that's where my skill set is. I know you do. You know about a fulcrum, don't you? That's the most valuable lesson I ever learned was about leverage. And Darlene, I give you my word on that. I most certainly will. If you get in need, call me or send me a smoke signal or something. I'll come running. Come hell or high water, I'll get there. But problem solving is what I do. I was born with the natural ability to see patterns, to recognize trends, to recognize things that other people don't see or look over. Maybe they see it and just don't notice it. I don't know. But I happen to see it. And so I generally can come up with what I need out of a pile of junk. Sun Tzu speaks to length about leverage. Yes, he does. I've read The Art of War. Have you? Yes, I do. I remember it well. I was part of it. I was the guy doing the digging and the building. And it's still there. And we can all get together if we need to. I'll pull hard if it comes to that and we need to pull together. I'll start pulling. I'll be coming in on my gasifier powered chopper. Running off of corn oil or something. Might come in on a train, like in a Mad Max movie. A train with sails. Yeah, I remember. She was talking about getting everybody together in Fort White. Yep, I did a show. It was at JR's Bar and Grill. Or JJ's Bar and Grill. There was a J in it anyway. Yep. There's a New Year's Eve show with me and one other guy. And then his name was Alan. And I taught him how to play bass just for that show. Right. And it's still in the family, and it's still there, it's still available. We're going to have to do a lot of work when we get there, but we got a place to go. And also this place, which has no fortification value whatsoever. But it's here anyway. But Fort White's the place. Yeah, probably. Yeah, we didn't get together a whole lot, did we? You be gonna do the island life. You ain't gonna come hang with me when the world goes down? You're probably gonna want to. I could use a man like you. No, it's concrete. There's a room there. That can be rectified anyway, even if it is filled. That ain't nothing but a shovel or two. That's just for emergencies anyway. Basically, it'd be used as a root cellar. Yep. Yeah, the last thing I did was brick it up. It don't have a roof, but it's got walls and a floor. So even if it is full of sand, just a matter of digging it out. And a roof ain't that hard. There's plenty of trees on that property. Cabin wouldn't be that hard. And it's a good thing that I know several ways to cut a tree down that don't involve a chainsaw. Hamburg? Nope. You have to be more specific. I remember Bamberg, South Carolina, where I got married to my second wife. Yep. Well, your mama has a map. Okay. That might be worth having. I'm thinking of a lot less of a footprint. I've just got 2 acres, and it's hidden in the woods. But see, I'm not intending to be sought by anybody when I go there. I'm not intending anybody even to know we're there. At least I think she does. She's supposed to. If not, I'll fix it. You don't have a map? Well, I'll rectify that. I thought Mom gave everybody a map. I've got a map. Anyway, if you get to Fort White, you're looking for Three Rivers Estates, the Ichetuckney Springs. If you can find Ichetuckney, you can follow it down, and my road where my property is runs parallel to Ichetuckney Springs in Fort White. So Three Rivers Estates, look for Ichetuckney River. And it sounds like a gated community, but it's not. It's just a big forest, and it's owned by Three Rivers Estates. But right in the middle of it is our property. Now, the last time I was there, it was like 10 miles to the nearest store. There was a little mom and pop store, but it was closed half the time. And everything's expensive there, which means we won't be living from buying groceries. We'll be making groceries. Might have had 1 year ago, but I don't anymore. I got you. Well, I'll see to it you get one. And you can do with it what you wish. It's pretty hard to find if you don't know what to look for, but if you know what to look for, you can go straight to it. And you'll know the property because of the big rock. There's a big rock in the front yard. And when I say big, I mean big. Trust me when I tell you no one else has one. What, Ichetuckney? It's just like it's part of the Swanee River. It is a boulder. It's a big boulder with a hole right through the middle of it. Looks like something you'd see on Star Trek. In Florida, yeah. In Fort White, which is right outside of Lake City. Right between Lake City and Gainesville. Not only is it a secure location, but it's in a zone. There's 3 major Air Force bases on that side of the country where if we went to war, like nuclear war, those are the bases that would be attacked. And we're right smack in the middle of the fire zone, which means that it'll miss us. It was strategically located there for a reason. We picked it for a reason. I don't know who brought it to Florida, but we got it. It took 2 tractors and about 2 days to drag it to the house. It's a huge rock, though. I have no idea where it came from, but I bet money that if you go back and watch the old Johnny Weissmuller Tarzan shows, somewhere in one of those shows will be that rock. It's a very unusual feature for Florida. There's not a lot of limestone in Florida. I have no idea. It's just a big rock, and it's got a hole right through the middle of it, like somebody just carved it out. And it's about maybe 15 feet tall. It's pretty big. You can get up on it. Yeah, it's limestone. I'm pretty sure it is. Whatever boulders are made out of. Pretty heavy. I know that. You don't want it to fall over on you. Put it this way, if somebody stole it, they deserve it. Because they worked hard to get it. Only thing I've ever seen in Florida is sand. I lived there for 15 years or better. I've never seen any rock escarpments or anything like that. I'm sure it's there, I just had never seen it. A lot of gypsum, a lot of like phosphorus and things like that. All I know is it's a rock. I think it's limestone, but I can't swear to it. It's big though. It might be granite. I don't know. I don't think it's granite. It don't look like granite, but it might be. And it's been since 93 is the last time I saw it, so I can't rely on my memory about it. And it's solid stone. I mean, it ain't like you can break it or anything. You can hit it hard as you want to with a hammer and it won't do nothing. So it might be granite or something else. But it is unusual, and it's the only thing in Florida that I've seen like it, ever. Yeah. It was probably moved there by people. And I don't know how long it's been there. There was no history on the rock when we got it. It was like laying on the side of the road when we found it. And we got some tractors and drug it to the house. It's just an unusual, very big rock. And it's not made out of sand. But I'd say it probably is in one of those TV shows because that's the area they filmed all those TV shows back in the, what was it, 50s, 40s or 50s. The Johnny Weissmuller Tarzan. That's where they filmed it, right on Itchytuckney. And we got the vines to prove it. Big vines that you can swing from tree to tree on. course, they used ropes, but there are those kind of vines there. And lots and lots and lots of spiders. Good God, you ain't never seen so many spiders. Those big banana spiders. You walk right into them, right into your face. And here's the cool thing. At night, the trees glow in the dark for a little while because that area is rich in phosphorus. So you can like almost see at night with all the glowing trees. And it lasts for quite a few hours. It's quite beautiful out there, actually. Kind of makes me wonder about drinking the groundwater, but you never know. Could be good for you. Make your pee glow in the dark. But that's what I want to do, is prepare myself and make sure you're prepared and have a plan just in case the bottom falls out of this whole thing. As it very well could. It very well could. And if it does, fear not, because it is in God's hands and there is a plan. And we're all part of it. Good to see you too. I love you, and I'll see you next time around. Be careful out there. Have fun. Good looking out. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. Look out. Look out and teach the word of God. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I think that this will be a great platform if things do go bad, to make sure that there's a place for people to come if they ever decide they want to learn what's supposed to happen in their life. And I believe there's going to come a time when that's necessary, where they won't be able to go to church and get it there. Hell, we've already got to that point. They've had churches closed for a long time now. I don't know if they're opening back up or not, but last I heard they were closed. Restaurants too in most places. Most cities anyway. But the biggest thing to do is just avoid the drama. Try to stay out of cities if you can. Try to stay out of densely populated areas if there's any possible way to do that. And guard yourself. Don't walk around with large cash on you, or don't put yourself in any dangerous positions, things like that. Just got done talking to my dad, and am now at Gators. Dad is doing well. Glad to hear it. I'm glad he's okay. Enjoy that Gators. I think I'm going to break out of here and watch some news. See if I can get an idea of what's going on in the world. J, etc. Ah, that's interesting. Anyway, I love you too. Very much. And I hope that things are going to be okay. They will be okay. But be wiser than the serpent. Comrade. You're lucky if we don't end up getting numbers for names. Call me prisoner 54321. That would be bad, comrade. Oh, I shudder at the thought. Anyway, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be here. Press that like button like it owes you money. It owes me money. Share this video with somebody you love or somebody you hate. Either way, works for me. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. Challenge me. Question me. Curse me. Bless me. Whatever you're doing, just be thinking. That's what I want you to do, is think, think, think. And if you like what I'm doing and you want to help me keep doing it, pay some grocery bills, go to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps, and I do need it, so I appreciate it. And I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And with that, we'll sail on to the ending. It's cold and windy out. Yes, it is. It's really cold and really windy here, too. Been windy all day. I was wondering if there was a hurricane blowing in. It's been like, I don't know, 15, 20 miles an hour winds all day. Enough to make the trees make noise, you know. Maybe it's just that time of year that the winds are moving around. Oh, to be a propeller in times like this. You guys get your stimulus checks yet? I don't think I'm getting one. It hadn't come, that's for sure. I wouldn't count on it if you hadn't got it. Don't know if you can trust the government or not. And they might have us all on a list already. I ain't got one either. I ain't never trusted the IRS to start with. They're not a very trustworthy group of people, that's for sure. Night, night, sweetie. I love you. I'll catch you on the next go round. Have a good night and rest easy. Take care of yourself. We're just winding down anyway. Getting ready to watch some news. See if I can't figure out what's going on in the world. Love y'all. Love you too. And with that, I'm on boat. You guys have a great night. I love you true with all my heart. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.